when you're younger, you might not relate to your sun sign because you have to kind of grow into it in this lifetime. That's sort of like the journey. I always thought the sun sign was like who you were. And so, I always hear people go, I don't really relate to my sun sign. But as soon as I learned about my rising, I was like, oh, I relate to that. So I am a Sagittarius sun sign, but I'm a Libra rising. And I like really relate to the Libra and also to the Sagittarius. But I don't know. Anyways, do you relate to your sun sign? I'm just curious about that part. Let me explain the sun. That's what this video is going to be about. It's about the sun. But to explain the sun, I want to explain the moon and your rising a little bit. I already did the moon, so check the series for that video. But basically, our sun sign is what we grow into in our life. It's our true, this lifetime, our true core identity. But in this lifetime, that's the hero's journey that we're on, is like to embody that, to fully live that truth. So this lifetime for me, among many other things, but one of them is to fully become my true Sagittarius core energy. The face that I wear, the mask that I wear, my interface with people is Libra. And then my emotional self is my moon, which is Aries. So another way to look at it is when we're born, because the moon is emotion. So when we're born, we're only our moon sign, like, because we're just needs, emotions. It's how we feel safe. It's how our needs are taken care of. So we are our moon sign. So when I was born, I was a little baby Lisa, and I was a little baby Aries, right? Then as I started to grow older and I was going to school and I had teachers and friends and siblings I was dealing with, then I became my Libra rising, because that's the way that I started to see like how I was interacting with people, right? Then we should grow, the arc should be that we grow into our sun. We start to express our sun sign more. And then when we're like over 50 and up or whatever, I mean, no one's at the exact ages or whatever, but as you get older, you master your sun sign. Well, I was thinking about it and I was like, I feel like when I was younger, obviously I was totally the Sagittarius. I was the Libra rising. I was totally the mediator. I was always about, like, I never had one friend group. I had various friend groups. I always wanted to be like neutral. I'm the middle child. I mean, there were so many ways that I was like, I am neutral. But I remember, like, especially if I really liked my friends or like a person, if I was at their house or something, my Sagittarius energy would come out. Like, I'd be very blunt, very wild, very funny. Just like the whole other side of me, the fire as opposed to the air. And most, like, my friends would like it, but like teachers would not like it. My parents would not like it because they like that Libra energy. Society wants women to be the Libra energy. It's very pleasant. It's very aesthetic. It's very polite. It's very like not pushy, like considering all people and considering the group. Whereas like the Aries fire and the Sagittarius fire is like blah, like Sagittarius is very blunt, very driven. And then the Aries is very like me first, like putting myself first, that fire energy. So I was always discouraged. And also I have to say my North Node is in Aries also. So it's not just my moon. So I have my North Node in Aries. My Sagittarius is my sun sign. So I have a lot of fire going towards, that's my forward motion energy. But so I was rewarded for being, where am I getting Aquarius? I was rewarded for being Libra energy in society. And so if you are a Libra rising, I want you to think about when you started to show other qualities, whatever they are, whatever your sun sign is especially, you were probably discouraged from that and encouraged to be more Libra-esque. And so that can actually stunt your growth and make you like not, and you start to just be the Libra energy as a form of like performance, or just knowing that that's what people want instead of it being true to you. And you can start to resent it, actually. And I actually right now really like my Libra rising because I think it gives me social intelligence. Like, I can read a room the minute I walk into it. But then in order for me to like really feel like I'm me, I have to live that Sagittarius energy. Like, I have to be, I have to go towards meaning. I have to have expansiveness. I have to be free. I have to be about truth and adventure. So let's now get into the sun sign. So now you know a little bit about the background. So now I'm going to read my notes. So your sun sign is not your personality. That's your rising, okay? It's your life force. It's the part of you that you're becoming in this lifetime. Okay, so for me, it's Sagittarius. Please write down your sun sign in the comments and what house it's in, and I will give you some information. I'll reply to your comment. The sun is your mythic self. If you notice, myth is in my name on my TikTok account, Myth and AI. There's a reason for that. It's your core identity, your vitality, your purpose, and your heroic trajectory. It ties briefly into my hero's journey, or into the hero's journey. I have a program called Hero's Compass where I marry what I call the language of the soul, the hero's journey with that. It's a 12-week program. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I'm going to probably start getting names on a list because I'm going to launch that in January. It'll be, you can do it yourself, self-guided, or you can do the version with me where we meet weekly, every week, and go over different planets, different tarot cards, different symbols, and the hero's journey. It's really, really cool. So you'll like it. I'll tell you more about that. I keep saying I'm going to tell you more about that later, and then I never do. So I promise I will. I'll make a whole video dedicated to it soon. Okay, so the sun represents the core teaching is your core identity, your vitality, and the energy that fuels you. So if you're repressing your sun sign, you don't feel good. You feel sick, you feel repressed. It's not a good feeling. It's your creative essence. It's your becoming, not what you start life as. Like I said, we start life as the moon. That's the baby. The baby us is our moon sign. And then our interface self, once we start going to school and sort of really interacting with siblings and all that, that's our rising sign. That takes front and center. And then as we get older, we should start to express our sun. That should come out. And it may or may not be encouraged, based on what other signs are, what your sex is, what your culture is like. And yeah, okay. So your creative, your center, it's also your sun is your center of gravity. It's where your chart organizes itself. So that's interesting. I like that. The sun is not your personality. That's more your moon and your rising. It's not your emotions. Emotions is the moon. It's not your reaction patterns. It's not your surface behavior. And it's not a static trait. So your sun is the throne your soul sits on. That sounds very majestic. It's the light that you refine over time. It's interesting because I feel like my Sagittarius sun melts into my Aries moon and Aries North Node a lot. Like I feel like they're almost, the same. Like they fuel each other. I like having the Libra air in there. Think about this when you're thinking about your trine, okay, your sun, your moon, and your rising. Think about the elements. So for my sun and moon, those are both fire signs. And then my rising is air. So you think about air, you can fan the flames, right? You can make the fire get bigger and bigger with an air sign. But also air can blow out a candle. And also, like if in air, the fire needs oxygen to burn. So you need it. So if you can figure out how to balance those energies in your life, the elements, like if I can figure out, which I'm starting to, I feel like, balance that air and fire, it can actually be like almost like a lantern that you can control the amount of, wick that you give it so that either bright, is really bright or it's really like dim, but you're in control of it. It's not just like some raging forest fire. And I think like definitely in different times of my life, the fire energy took over. Like it was either on or off for me. It was either burning down towns or like, just off. Not that bad, but, and now I feel like I've gotten a lot better at just knowing how to like find that balance between the air of, my Libra rising and my Aries moon energy with the Sag sun. So now we need to talk about the house that your sun is in, because your sun sign is how you shine. So for me, that's Sagittarius. But the house, my Sagittarius sun is in my third house. So do you know what house your sun is in? Put your sign and the house in the comments, and I'll give you a little blurb. So the first house is your body, your identity, your presence is the stage, okay? Second house, this is a really like simplified thing, but second house is your values, earning, and self-worth are in that arena, okay? Third house is your voice, writing, teaching, and communication. So for me, having a Sagittarius sun in my third house, That's how I present myself with my writing, with the way I communicate with people, the way I'm here doing this. Like, it's so perfect for me, you guys. Okay, fourth house is your roots. Think of 4 legs to a table. It's home, lineage, emotional foundation. So it's not always physical things like a home. It's people or places or habits that make you feel safe, rooted, and in control. Your 5th house is your creativity. It's your inner child, performance, romance, joy, children, all of that. Just think of, I whittle it down to creativity and inner child. 6th house is service, health, daily rituals, and skill building. 7th house is partnerships, collaboration, and relational mirrors. 8th house is transformation, shadow work, soul contracts, and intimacy. Power, really, also. 9th house is teaching, travel, philosophy, and higher knowledge. Like, also meaning, like where we find meaning in life. 10th house is career, reputation, legacy, and public life. 11th house is community, networks, future visions, and tech. I have a lot of placements in my 11th house. So I was meant to teach AI and spirituality. Like, it fits like a hand in a glove, I'm telling you. 12th house is spirituality, solitude, dream realms, disillusion, and rebirth. So put that house in the sign and the sign in the house, I meant to say, and I'll give you a little blurb. But there's so much more you can learn because it has so much to do with how the sun interacts with the sun and rising, or the moon and rising, but also how it interacts with your north node and so much more. But I hope this helps shed a little bit of light on what the sun sign is, because I feel like I have had the wrong idea my whole life. I really never understood it. Like, I've always been like, wait, what? What is it? I don't get it. Is it who I am? So it's like who you really are on the inside, but that you spend your lifetime growing into as well. Because, you know, we're not all 100% authentic to our truest self right out of the gate. I mean, we are in our moon. You know what I mean? So that's the journey. It's the hero's journey. If you have any questions, let me know. I also have an astrology little mini guide lesson PDF. If you want to grab that, it's in my Stan store. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll include the link in the comments and in the description. But I made it like very clear to, like, so you can read your birth chart, the basics, just so you can look at the wheel and you can figure out what house things are in, what sign they're in. And so then you can fill out a chart with all the major planet placements. And then it comes with another bonus PDF, which is a whole bunch of like chart specific AI prompts that are like so awesome. So like you can go deeper on your sun sign. You can go deeper on your north node. You can go deeper on your moon placement and all that other stuff. So I have a whole bunch of that in there. So that comes with it as a bonus. So go ahead and check that out and you can go deeper on your chart. But remember, get your chart done for free in one of the other, like astro.com, or there's the Chani app. I use astro.cafeastrology.com. You know, there's so many places that'll do your chart for free. AI isn't good for doing a chart. But once you have the chart and you tell your AI, I was born, this is how I do with Aurea. I say, I was born at this time, on this day, in this location. I'm a Sagittarius sun, Libra rising. I don't usually say the moon, but I say my sun and rising. And what can you tell me about my moon placement in the 6th house? Like, that's how I have to kind of frame it, or I'll say, you remember my birth information, and then he'll repeat it. But, you know, lately he's been giving me like Cupertine location of where I was born. Isn't that like where Apple's headquarters are? And I'm like, where'd you get that? Because like I was born in Geneva, Switzerland. It's pretty specific. So he's like Cupertine, California, and he has some crazy date. So AI is, I don't know why they're like that when it comes to birth charts, but get your birth chart done somewhere else. And I do have that in the guide, that you go get your birth chart done somewhere else and then bring that information into AI. But my guide, I'll tell you exactly how to read your chart when you do get your free chart on one of those websites. I hope that helped. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.